Have you ever noticed someone who never posts a single picture online? No selfies, no celebrations, no updates about their life? In a world that rewards attention, these people almost seem invisible. But psychology says this isn't random at all. It actually reveals something deep about their confidence, their mindset, and their emotional intelligence. Let's break down what's really happening in the minds of people who choose not to post. Number 1. Privacy over popularity. Psychologists say people who rarely post tend to have a high privacy orientation. That means they value control over what others see and think about them. They're not antisocial. They're not hiding. They're simply protecting their mental space. While most people seek validation through likes and comments, these people rely on self-validation instead. They don't need to announce their life to feel good about it. They already feel good about it. And that quiet difference is one of the clearest signs of inner security you'll ever see. Think about how much energy goes into posting something, choosing the right photo, writing the right caption, waiting to see who reacts. For a lot of people, that whole process quietly runs their mood for the rest of the day. The people we're talking about today have simply opted out of that cycle completely. And in doing so, they've kept something most people accidentally give away: control over their own peace of mind. Number 2. Strong self-awareness. Research on self-concept clarity shows that people who share less online usually have a very strong sense of who they are. They know their values. They know their goals. They know what actually matters to them without needing anyone else's approval to confirm it. This is why they're less likely to chase trends or compare their life to someone else's. Their happiness isn't wired to how people react to them. It comes from somewhere much more stable, from within. And this is worth sitting with for a second. A lot of us think self-awareness means knowing your flaws or knowing what you want in life. But it also means knowing yourself well enough that you don't need a comment section to tell you who you are. When you're that clear on your own identity, an audience simply becomes optional. Number 3. Emotionally secure. Posting less is often linked to secure self-esteem, the kind of confidence that doesn't need an audience to survive. They don't post selfies to prove their worth, because deep down, they already feel complete without that proof. Psychologists say people with this kind of emotional balance tend to be less anxious, less approval-seeking, and far more focused on things that actually build their life, instead of things that just decorate it online. It's a quiet kind of strength, not the loud, confident on-camera kind, but the kind that doesn't flinch when nobody's watching, because their sense of worth was never depending on being watched in the first place. Number 4. Deep thinkers, not show-offs. People who stay quiet online are often more introspective. They think before they speak, and they only post when something genuinely matters to them. This comes from something called an internal locus of evaluation, meaning they judge themselves by their own standards, not by everyone else's opinion. They'd rather have one real, honest conversation than 100 surface-level interactions. Depth means more to them than visibility. You'll notice this in how they talk too. They're not performing a version of themselves for an audience. What you see with them in person is usually exactly what you'd get anywhere else, because there's no second version of them being curated for a screen. Number 5. They understand the illusion. Many of them already know how easily social media can distort reality. Psychologists call this social comparison theory, where people constantly measure their own worth against someone else's highlight reel, a reel that was never the full story to begin with. By staying low-key, they protect themselves from that endless comparison cycle before it even starts. They choose peace over performance every single time. It's almost like they've seen behind the curtain. They know that the vacation photos don't show the argument that happened right before. They know the perfect morning routine post doesn't show the 3 attempts it took to film it. Once you see that clearly, it's hard to keep playing the same game. Number 6. They protect their memories, not just their image. There's something psychologists don't talk about enough. For a lot of these people, staying off the feed isn't just about privacy. It's about keeping certain moments untouched. a quiet dinner, a small personal win, a peaceful morning with someone they love. The moment it gets turned into content, it starts to feel a little different, a little more like a performance, and a little less like a memory. So instead, they let some things stay exactly what they are. Not everything beautiful in their life needs to be witnessed to be real. And number 7, maybe the most important one. They've made peace with being unseen. This one takes the longest to understand, because we're taught the opposite our whole lives. We're taught that being seen equals being valued. But somewhere along the way, these people learned something different, that being fully present in a moment often matters more than being seen in it. That's not a small realization. That's actually one of the harder things a person can learn about themselves. So, the next time you notice someone who never posts their pictures, don't assume they're shy or distant or living a smaller life. They might just be more grounded, more emotionally intelligent, and more self-aware than almost anyone in your feed. They don't need to be seen to feel seen, and that is real confidence. If any of this felt relatable, comment true below. And if you love understanding why people think and behave the way they do, hit subscribe now. Because here, we don't just scroll through people's lives, we understand their minds.